Well, here we are, December. We're coming to the Christmas season. Gonna be a lot of Christmas baking and all. Now, the years I lived in Canada, the one thing I could always count on was mincemeat tarts and butter tarts. Butter tarts are just a Canadian thing. I did some research on these once, and it turns out that these date back to the Canadian pioneer days, and actually are thought to be one of the only truly original Canadian recipes. I mean, other than the native Canadian recipes like bannock and pemmican and all those kind of things. These were made by the Canadian pioneers way back, and they are absolutely delicious. Look inside there. Oh, it's just sweet deliciousness. Lots of butter, sugar. Yeah, these aren't high on the list of healthy items, but boy, are they good for Christmas. So enjoy some. Let's go in the kitchen and bake up a batch right now. All right, the first stage of making our butter tarts is to make the shells themselves. And what I've got here is 2.5 cups of flour, 1 cup of butter. Now what I've done with the butter is I've cut it up into small pieces and then put it back in the refrigerator while I was preparing everything else, because you want this butter chilled. It should be really cold, it's soft. I've got here's 2 tablespoons of just white sugar. You can use my favorite cane sugar too, but I'm using that inside the tarts themselves. And over here I've got 1 teaspoon of salt, and I've got a 1/2 cup of water. I'm going to either use anywhere between 1/4 and 1/2 cup of water in this. It's kind of by feel, and we'll see how as we're doing that, how it all comes together. So first, into the food processor, let's put the flour, and we're going to put the sugar and the salt. Then what we're going to do is just kind of zap that together, just enough to mix it up. All right, basically all I've done is just give it a little bit of swirl to get all the flour, the sugar, everything together. Now, in goes the butter. That's a full cup of butter there. There's a reason these are called butter cookies, or butter tarts. There's butter in them, and there's butter in the pastry itself, to a lot of it. And they are delicious. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pulse this until, I'm going to keep pulsing until it becomes like a coarse meal, basically. So all that butter has been chopped in with the flour, the sugar, the salt. So here we go. Quick look. There we go. Basically, there's little tiny balls of butter in there. It's mainly chopped up, so we're going to give it a couple more pulses. Now, I'm going to put it on. I'm going to slowly drizzle this water in as it's running until I see it starting to come together. And then we're going to check it. We want to be able to pinch it and it holds its shape. So, I put this on running, and in goes the water. It looks like it's trying to come together. Have a quick look at it. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. See, it's holding its shape as I squeeze it together. Let's take another piece here. Squeeze that together, and there we go. Yeah, that is perfect. All right, so what I'm gonna do now, get rid of that water. See, we use about half of that water, so about 1/4 cup of water. It depends, humidity, all kinds of things as to how much you're gonna need. That's gonna be good. All right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to return this to the bowl. And then all I'm going to do, a little bit left over in there. All I'm going to do now, let's get rid of that, is bring this together. I want to bring this together into a ball. So I'm just squeezing it together. And then some aluminum foil. We're going to wrap this up in aluminum foil. And what we're going to do is we're going to let this rest in the refrigerator for an hour, at least an hour. It could be all day, so you can make this in the morning and then finish your butter cookies when you get home from work or from skiing or whatever you're going to do this winter. Hopefully some skiing. All right, so look at that. Oh yeah, that is perfect. All right, bring that together and roll it up tight. That's going in the fridge. Be back in an hour or so, and then we're going to make the tarts. All right, see you later. Right, that's been sitting in the fridge for over an hour. It's all solidified. I'm going to take off the wrapping. What I've done here is I've lightly floured the counter. Floured, most people flour it. I've used icing sugar. You can use both, and most people will use flour, and I use flour quite often, but I like icing sugar because it is more, it's just going to add to the taste. And I use it also when I'm dusting the inside of the muffin tins that we're going to be making these in. And if you want to see how that's done and why we do that, make sure you check out the kitchen tech video I've done on that. Link down below. All right, so now I'm just going to take this. I can just split it in half. Just use half at a time. And so since we got 2 muffin tins, 6 tarts each. All right, we'll put that on there and just roll that out. It's a bit stiff right now. Let's work it a bit. All right, there we go. Oh, get it there. Just gotta kind of work it out. I want to get it out to a little under a 1/4 inch, or about 4 millimeters thick. Get in there. Dust that. If it's just sticking to the rolling pin, just do the rolling pin a little dusting, and away you go again. Oh yeah, it's looking about good. Now, I'm going to cut circles out of it. They should be around about 4 inches or about 10 centimeters. So this is exactly that size. Go in here, cut a piece out. Over here. And then what I've done here, I've prepped these. Again, check out that Kitchen Tech video. I've buttered them and then dusted them with icing sugar. You can use flour, that's okay too. I just find that, especially when you're dusting any baking thing, that you'll get a much better flavor with icing sugar. You won't get that kind of burnt flavor from the flour. And now I'm just going to work these down in here. There we go. I think I might have got a little over a 1/4 inch thick there. Hey, the carpenter who can't measure. All right, so just kind of work them in like this. A little rough edge is good. I mean, every butter tart I've ever had always had a bit of a bumpy edge to it, and that just looked great. All right, so we're gonna keep working these in here. We're gonna get them all done. Gonna set them aside. We're gonna put them back in the refrigerator for another half an hour just to chill that dough again. That's what makes for a really good dough, is if it goes into the oven chilled and all the butter is ready to, it's basically a reaction that we want when that butter and everything hits the heat inside that oven. So I'm gonna work these all out, chill them for half an hour, and then we'll come back, we'll make the filling and pop it in there and pop them in the oven. All right, so it's been in about a half an hour in the refrigerator, chilling down. What we're gonna do now is we're going to make the filling. So what I have here is 1 cup of brown sugar, or my favorite natural cane sugar. I have here 6 tablespoons of butter, which has been sitting at room temperature. 3/4 of a cup of little pieces of walnut. Now usually I go with the baker's pieces, but these are chopped up a bit smaller. They're about somewhere between 1/8 and a 1/4 inch, or about 3 to 5 millimeters because we want it a bit finer sitting in the bottom of our tartlets. Over here we have 2 eggs, we have 1 tablespoon of vanilla, and we have a 1/4 cup of heavy cream, about 35% or greater. So first we're going to do is take a bowl, we'll put the butter in here, cream it a little bit. It's going to be quite easy to cream because it's been sitting at room temperature, so it should be quite easy. All right, I'm going to cream that sugar into there. So let's kind of mix this up. Now we're not making cookies, so this doesn't have to be perfectly creamed. All I'm doing is just pre-combining the butter and the sugar because this guy's gonna have to work really hard otherwise. But once I got it like this and it's basically in there, that's looking pretty good. We can attack it with the electric mixer. All right, well, I've got it mixed in a bit like that, and a couple pieces on the counter here. Now what I'm going to do is going to crack in the eggs. Add in the vanilla. And now we're going to mix it till we get this kind of smooth, and then we're going to add in that cream. It's been about a minute of mixing, and you see it's getting nice and smooth. So what I'm going to do now, add in the cream. Give that a bit of a mix. All right, that's looking good. Just going to put that aside for right now. Let those beaters drip in there a little bit. Get out of the way there. All right. Now, here is our chilled pastry or tarts. Now I've got those walnuts. I'm going to take those walnuts and just divvy them up amongst these cups. All right, that looks about even. Now, I'm going to spoon this mixture in on top. Okay, piece of walnut there. All right, now the oven's over there preheating. It's just about ready. 375 degrees Fahrenheit, 190 degrees Celsius. These are going to go in for 20 to 25 minutes. You're going to watch them in that last, when it hits the 20 minutes. What you're looking for, it's going to bubble up. It's going to be browning on top and kind of solidifying a little bit. And then also you see the pastry getting a nice browning, just kind of a golden brown. Perfect. Take them out. So I'll see you when these come out of the oven. All right, these just come out of the oven. They're all puffed up. Yes, there's one already going down. They will sink down as they cool. So that's what they should look like when they're fully done. Nice browning, puffed up. Pastry's got that golden color to it. Gonna let these cool to room temperature. Just sit here like this. Those are gonna sink down in. And then to help get them out, you can just use like a thin spatula like this and just kind of run it around a bit. But they come out pretty easy actually. See, like that's gonna come out really easy already. It's not even cooled yet. All right, enjoy these for Christmas. Canuck Christmas butter tarts. They are delicious. I've only ever had these in Canada and when I make them myself. So these are a treat. Now, if you go to the link appearing on the screen, you can get the free printable recipe for Canuck Christmas butter tarts on our website. Also, go check out the kitchen tech video on the link appearing now on the screen, and you'll see exactly how you can prepare your tins so that they're non-stick and your butter tarts come out very easily, and cakes and pies and anything else you make. Now, go print out the recipe. Have fun making and eating these fantastic little Christmas treats, and Make cooking fun again with Kuma's Kitchen.